Wow, what a week for rich dicks, huh? News that students would get some debt relief brought all the assholes out to complain. And many of them were nominated this week, especially those who said it was unfair that students got some of their debt canceled, even as they themselves took out PPP loans that were then canceled. Credit to the White House, which did a Twitter thread highlighting all the Republican members of Congress bitching about student loans, but who got PPP loans. Took aim at Marjorie Taylor Greene, who had over $180,000 of PPP loans erased, Congressman Vern Buchanan, who had over $2 million in loans canceled, and Markwayne Mullin, who had nearly $1.5 million worth of PPP loans forgiven. That's just to name a few. The list is quite long. On yesterday's show, we gave a few other examples from Mitch McConnell to Ben Shapiro. And Ryan on Twitter suggested we pick somebody who's complaining about student debt relief on Twitter who had a monstrously large PPP loan forgiven. Ryan noted that there's so many that it's hard to pick just one, but trust that we're up to the task. Thank you, Ryan. Very strong nomination. We'll revisit it in just a moment. Also nominated this week, like every week, all the goddamn landlords. Thanks, Rona. So-called right-wing populists who claim to care about the working class but get upset when working class debt is forgiven. Looking at you, Congressman Dan Crenshaw, and you too, Senator Josh Hawley, both of them nominated. Rich celebrities in California are blowing past their water allotments as the state deals with a water crisis. So they were nominated too this week. BlackRock investment firm was also nominated, one of the major stakeholders in Warrior Met Coal, a company that for more than 500 days has refused to bargain with its workers down in Alabama, resulting in the longest strike in state history. Solidarity with the UMWA miners who are continuing to hold the line down there. And we got another nomination for the Warner Discovery CEO, David Zaslav, who is hell-bent on ruining the HBO Max streaming service and is now firing a lot of diverse workers in the process. Pretty messed up stuff. As I said, it's been a banner week for wealthy assholes. And it culminates with this week's rich dick, Jared Kushner. Look, he just checks all the boxes, folks. Did he complain about students getting some of their debt wiped away this week? You bet he did. Did Kushner also benefit from PPP loans that were then forgiven? Why, of course he did. In fact, his family received millions of dollars in PPP loans. The money flowed into the Kushner family's media, hotel, and real estate holdings, and they didn't have to pay back a dime. But there's another box that Kushner checked this week that put him over the top for the rich dick dishonors. He's got a new book out, and he gave an interview in which he made the claim that he actually thinks he might live forever.
I think that from the last year, the one thing I've tried to put a priority on since I left the White House was, getting some exercise in. I think that there's a good probability that my generation is, hopefully with the advances in science, either the first generation to live forever or the last generation that's going to die. And so we need to keep ourselves in pretty good shape.
Doubt that. Jared's probably going to die like the rest of us. But if maybe science and medical advancements do one day prolong life indefinitely, then as Kushner well knows, it will be the rich who get to live forever, not the working class who, as it stands now, can barely see a doctor when they need to. We'll see people like Kushner and Peter Thiel walking around with bags of fresh blood lining their suits and frequenting labs where body parts are grown as replacements. A nightmare future if it ever does pan out. Kushner's comments do offer some insight into the mind of a rich dick, though. The rich are so far removed from the working class in this country. They have their own schools they send their kids to, their own jets and private cars they travel in, their own concierge medical service, their own clubs and restaurants, all so they never have to associate with proles like us. And like a syphilitic monarch, it's so embedded in their psyche that they are of a different kind than the rest of us, that they actually think they can escape the same endgame that awaits everyone else. Death. Jared Kushner, this week's rich dick. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.